Gracious greetings, St. Stephen family and guests. Welcome to another edition of Living Water for a Thirsty Thursday. Well, if you remember, we're talking about excuses. You guys ever heard people making excuses?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People make excuses, don't they?
Indeed.
You know, I always call you guys are theologians. So how do you think God feels about excuses? What does his word say about excuses? Anything that you think of that comes out of, think about this word, excuses and God?
The first thing that comes to my mind is when the spies were sent to go check out the promised land. And then they said, man, it's giants over there and all kind of stuff, man, we can't go in there. But now, if I remember correctly, because I only read the Bible a couple of times, when they came back with all the things that they had found there, right? The spies who went there to spy out the land, they were like, man, they got huge stuff over there. So it wasn't only the people that were big over there, but it's also the benefits were big too. So I think like when we make excuses sometimes, what we do is we take ourselves out of line with the multitude of benefits that God has in line for us while we worry about the multitude of problems that we actually need him to help us to overcome.
Let me ask this. Have either of you ever made an excuse?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, growing and being sanctified in the Lord, but definitely called myself a procrastination king, for sure. And particularly in the academic realm, growing up in, elementary school, going to middle school, going to high school, always making excuses as to why I didn't read. Oh, I got practice. Oh, I need to eat. Oh, I need to sleep. Well, I want to go hang out with my friends at Denny's. Some more eating and hanging out and fellowshipping. Not doing what I'm supposed to do. So there have been a myriad of reasons why. Oh, the Lakers are on. The greatest team in the world, by the way.
Ooh.
They on. I have to watch my team.
That is no good excuse. That was a real excuse.
Cameras jumping too. What that is.
Making excuses as to why I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Or maybe stepping into roles that God has called me to. I've had to really kind of marinate and think on that of like, man, like, if the Lord is like equipping me and bringing me to where he wants me to be, then I have no excuse to not step into the situation. I mean, we look at Moses. Moses didn't want to be the prophet that he was. He was like, I got a speech impediment. Lord, choose somebody else. Anybody but me. Choose somebody else. But the Lord's like, I've chosen you for this word. I have a word for my people that I'm choosing you to bring. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to have your brother Aaron come help you out. So you really have no excuses. I'm going to equip you and give you everything that you need to serve me. And I think that's something we have to remember. Throughout the stories we see in the Bible where God uses people who are ill-equipped or are not feeling like they're capable, God makes them capable. And that's something we have to keep in mind and should give us courage and give us boldness to live out what God has called us to do.
Like it. Good stuff y'all are sharing there. So even though I make an excuse, you say God says you don't have an excuse. Exactly what the good Rev was saying as well with Moses. Brother Williams, have you ever made any excuses?
I'm going to make an excuse and say that I don't know what else to say after that.
Here's my excuse for not saying anything.
Man, I mean, when I think of an excuse, I think of maybe the word accountability. I mean, God knows that you need, he already has everything set for you. So like you pretty much know what you need to do. So whether it's, like you said, like a basketball game that's on, I should be doing something else. I mean, you know that you should be doing what you need to do. So, it's not a very easy thing to do, but it's all about just being, disciplined and trusting in God in that whole process.
Excellent. Trusting in God, being disciplined. Amen. And accountability. Good stuff there from Brother Williams as well. And then another big picture item. When someone gives you an excuse, when you counted on them to do whatever or to not do, when they give that excuse, does it help?
It helps them sometimes, but it don't help you.
It don't help you to get it done, right?
Like there's a difference. I think sometimes people have a hard time differentiating, or they don't have a hard time. They blur the lines really closely between a reason and an excuse. And so there's a big difference between a reason and an excuse. And so like a lot of times, you know, we try to play off our excuses as reasons, you know, so that again, we don't have to suffer or bear that accountability. And so it's kind of like an escape tactic. It's like, oh man, I would have done it for you, like I said, but the butter, you know, fell off the top shelf of the fridge. I had to pick it up, and then it had a little dust on the back, so I had to dust it off because, you know, sanitary reasons. You're like, yeah, okay, you gotta be sanitary. You want the butter to melt on the floor. That ain't got nothing to do with you paying the cable bill. What are you talking about? You know, so, you know, people always have
Reasons.
you know, reasons and excuses, but sometimes, you know, it's wise for us to be able to differentiate between the two. And of course, that's a discipline issue, accountability issue.
Amen. That perfect segue. That's kind of what we're going to talk about next week when we continue this discussion on excuses. We're actually going to talk about top 5 reasons people give excuses. I wonder if you have a list. I'm sure you do. You want to come out on the 29th for the Harvest Festival. It's going to be a good time as well. I think it starts at like 6 in the evening, goes to maybe 8 or 9. And then, of course, the following Sunday, the lab kicks off. But before that, Sunday school at 9:30 for children, youth, and young adults right here on campus in person. And then going into the lab at 11 o'clock. We're looking forward to it. Continue to make God proud in all you say, think, and do.